knew to go in like because you're going to be afraid. You're going to be scared. You're going to be, but I learned also there's a big difference between fear and excitement. Fear and excitement feel exactly the same. And you have to know the difference. Once if you're fearful, you tank, you stop. But if you feel those bubbles and you decide that you're going to be excited, you get better. It becomes your performance rises. So I took all those bubbles and started to understand I'm excited. I'm not fearful. I'm excited. And all of a sudden that changed everything for me. And I mean, it became where I didn't want to run from the camera. Even though I may feel fearful or I know, no, it's excitement. You're excited. Don't be scared. And all of a sudden, everyone gets on board with you. It's amazing.
I heard this story. Everyone knows that famous scene in White Chicks
Yes.
where, it's epic. I feel like I've played that video so many times.
How did you know? I love this song.
Making my way downtown, walking fast, and I miss you. And now I wonder.
I heard you did that in one take, Terry.
Right. That's right.
Well, take me through that moment. How did that happen?
Well, you have to understand, I was in my hotel room practicing that probably for a month straight, right?
That one scene?
Listening to the song all day long, to the point where I was getting all the little things and anything. I just wanted it to be pivotal, right? And when I sat in that car and they started filming, I was like, please just run the camera because I'm ready to give it up. And the moments when, they discovered that whole little, it was just flowing. I mean, it's funny. I even realized how when you see great athletes like Steph Curry doing his thing, you can see it when he's on. When Jordan scoring 63 as his rookie year, it's like time stops and you can do no wrong. That's how it felt on that set of White Chicks. Everything flowed. Every line just flowed out of me, man. I was going, this is a spiritual experience. You know what I mean? On the most stupid movie ever. You know what I mean? But that's why it still lasts to this day. It took a lot of preparation. I was in that room, like I said, for a whole month doing that practice.
You're just listening to Vanessa Carlton on repeat.
All the time, all day long, nonstop. And I said, I'm going to be over-prepared so that when it comes, it's just going to flow.
What were some alternate takes of that? Where were you going to take that?
Well, there were none. I mean, we did it once.
Yeah. No, I'm saying the preparation, because that's so fascinating to hear, Terry, that you prepared for that moment.
Yeah.
Because when I heard one take, I'm like, he's a natural.
No. You see, this is another thing I want to say. And this is, a lot of people don't realize it. There's no such thing as a natural. Everything is learned. Everything is worked on. Everything. I hear a lot about rappers who go into the studio once and then they can all of a sudden, they never write anything down, but they've been working on this thing for years and years and years, all day long, 24/7, nothing but lyrics, so when a guy like Jay-Z gets in the studio, it's got to explode.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there is no not writing or not working on it and all this stuff. You're working on it. And so when people see things that are natural, what they say is natural is just the first time you saw it. You know what I'm saying? But behind closed doors, it's nothing but work. It's hard work until it gets into the flow.
Yeah, that's amazing. Did you fear being typecast? I feel like a lot of folks, even when they hit their stride creatively, they feel like they have to make the same thing, whether that's a YouTuber making the same video, the same format, it's an actor playing the same role. Did you feel that? And how did you fight against it?
Well, first of all, you have to understand that I was on my way to being typecast. And this is another thing. Typecasting works because it'll get you paid. Like you can actually work, you know what I mean? Because the whole thing was, okay, here I am, this big black man who, I played a killer in the CSIs, you know what I mean? They put me in these, big intimidating roles and the whole thing. But what I would do, and I knew what I could do. It's almost like you hear a song, But when someone, you have Dolly Parton singing I Will Always Love You, and then you have Whitney Houston singing I Will Always Love You. Both are hits, but it's totally different when somebody else sings it. When I decided I was going to bring me into everything. So it's impossible to be typecast because there is no other you. There's no other Terry Crews. If I bring me into a performance, into whatever is a normal, role or whatever, I knew it would stand out. So I remember being on Malibu's Most Wanted. And here was like a funny role, but I was like a background guy. But I kept doing things that got the director's attention. Like, whoa, wait, what is this guy in the back doing? And they kept telling me to do new things and keep going and all this stuff. And another thing is at this time, for a guy like me, big, muscular and whatever, there was no big, funny, muscular guy. You were either chubby or skinny or whatever, but muscle and funny didn't work. But when I brought what I brought to it, people started to say, wait a minute, this big guy can do comedy, which was watershed at the time. No one, you got to understand, at the time, it was so new. Like that White Chicks moment, people were like, wait a minute, I've never seen this before. And so I knew that was my way. Whereas everyone else wanted me to be this big, kick-ass action movie guy. I realized that my lane was going to be comedy. I was going to stay in that lane and keep doing it because it was all to myself. And I was like, I don't have to compete with anybody because I'm just being me. My wife knows that I'm a goofball. You know what I mean? She's seen it all at home. She's seen me doing it and all this stuff. And she's like, Terry, you are just literally being yourself, different parts of you in all of these roles. But the thing is, there's only one you. And that makes it absolutely, it's impossible to be typecast. It's perfect.
Yeah, that quote you have that sticks with me is that competition is the opposite of creativity.
That's right. That's right.
I love that.
I learned a long time ago, because what was happening, I remember feeling jealous. You get those things where everyone's telling you, okay, man, so-and-so has got this role, so you got to do this, you got to look like this. And I realized, man, because if I'm competing with you, I'm not creating. Instantly, I'm now